tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Poppin' Guinness swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around us, how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart and the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Poppin' Guinness swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around us, how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart and the struggle, we dare to dream.
Much has been said about our last name, but what speaks the loudest will always be our game. FBS or HBCU. Our black talent will shine wherever we do. To make history, faith and hard work is a must. We don't have to be the next anybody. All we have to be is us. We're not imitating anyone regardless what people say. But if this does look familiar, it's because there's greatness in our DNA.
Right? Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. So what's going on, beloveds? All right, we're back in the building, the virtual building anyway. And so thanks everyone for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is another dose of your daily vitamin. So let's get ready to get back into it. Everybody hit that like button. Please like, share, subscribe, and all of that. And also, if you're already subscribed, make sure you double check to make sure that you're still subscribed, especially if you have not been receiving the notifications. All right. So hello, the lovely T, we the people. All hell nah is in here. D major. All right. Deuce is in the building. Okay. With that all being said, y'all didn't hold on. Y'all didn't hear the video? Could y'all not hear it? I heard it. I don't know why y'all couldn't hear it. Sorry, beloveds, but I heard it just fine. Okay. D Major said, "Did you hear anything about the Hong Kong fire?" No, I didn't. D Major, you need to get a YouTube channel, honey. Okay, because you'll be doing a whole lot of research from the sounds of it. I'm gonna have to look into it. Thank you for the information. Also, thank you for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessing. Okay. Now, with that all being said, hey, Hot Cocoa. Nessa G is in here. Okay, Leon. Let's get into it. Shout out to all of my loyal royals and my moderators, because y'all know they stay putting in work, and everyone tune into the queen. All right, I see you, Desmond. Let's get into it. Jonah is here. Jonah, where have you been? We the people, G from the land, that crazy beach Aries, the lovely T. All right, let's get into it. 555. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First off, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so with that all been said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Kratz, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells a beard oil. And if you know someone that has natural hair and you're shopping for them for Christmas, well, that would make a lovely gift. Okay, any of those oils, shampoos, you name it. And also, she has sales just about every week. Okay, so make sure you check her out. Okay, so now let's get into it. Lights up, everyone. Y'all, honey, everything's gone wrong for Trump. Do y'all hear me? First off, let's get into this real quick because it's breaking news, honey. The National Guard, two of them have been shot and are supposedly in critical condition. So let's go to this press conference. Hegseth says 500 additional National Guard troops are to be deployed to Washington, D.C. Said this was like an ambush-style attack. Okay? Honey, Trump's going to mess around and get somebody taken up out of here. And I'm not just talking about the people on those boats out there on the sea. All right, so I'm going to share my screen.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kash Patel, FBI Director. We're here to brief you on the tragic events that happened today at approximately 2:15 local time in Washington, D.C., where two of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence. They were shot. They're in critical condition. As you can see behind me, we have assembled the full force of both the federal and state and local law enforcement agencies to bring bear all of our resources to make sure we find the perpetrators responsible for this heinous act. And make no mistake, they will be brought to justice. Since this is an assault on a federal law enforcement officer, this will be treated at the federal level as an assault on a federal law enforcement officer. The FBI will lead out on that mission with our interagency partners, to include the Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service, ATF, DEA. And we're thankful for the mayor's assistance in this matter, the Metropolitan Police Department and their skills in investigating homicides and gun shootings in this city is exceptional. We will work together collaboratively because this is a matter of national security, because this is a matter of pride. President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House. We will shortchange the American public with no resources to make sure we find and safeguard our nation's capital right here in Washington, D.C., and bring anyone responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice.
Now, let me just take a moment to pause for the cause and say this. This is all very concerning. Okay, this is getting real dangerous out here. You see, what Trump is doing is he's stoking hate and he's stoking fear. Now, this is my opinion, because people have come to hate ICE agents as well as the National Guard, the people that feel that they're being harassed by them. You just never know what some of these extremists are thinking about at the end of the day. Okay, and we already know that there's a lot of disdain going on. So somebody's going to end up seriously hurt. Now, these two guards are supposedly in critical condition. Kash Patel's sitting there looking like a deer in the headlights. He looks clearly spooked. Okay, does he think that maybe someone's going to come for him next? And it seems that he's had, a very adventurous day, because earlier they were talking about him getting fired, but then the White House came out and said, nah, that's fake news. Did you all hear about that? Donald Trump responds to Kash Patel firing rumors. So Kash has had his hands full today, honey. But let's keep listening, because he clearly looks like he's stressed.
I would lastly like to add to the American public and the world, please send your prayers to those brave warriors who are in critical condition and their families, They are here serving our country. They are here protecting everyday Americans and citizens around the world in our nation's capital. They are the heroes of this day, and we must remember them on this day and every day, and their families and the sacrifice they have made. I will now turn it over to Chief Carroll of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Carroll. I'm the Executive Assistant Chief here at the Metropolitan Police Department. At approximately 2:15 this afternoon, members of the DC National Guard were on high visibility patrols in the area of 17th and I Street Northwest when a suspect came around the corner, raised his arm with a firearm, and discharged it at the National Guard members. The National Guard members, there were other members that were in the area. They were able to, after some back and forth, able to subdue the individual and bring them into custody. Within moments, members of law enforcement in the area were also able to assist and bring that individual into custody. At this time, as the director mentioned, the National Guard members are being treated at a local hospital. DC Fire and EMS responded to the scene to provide first aid for those individuals and transport them to a local hospital. The suspect in this case was also transported for treatment at a local hospital. Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C., and I, too, want to send my thoughts and prayers to the families of the guardsmen and to the guardsmen who are in critical condition in a local hospital. I am joined by members and leadership from the D.C. National Guard, from the West Virginia National Guard, United States Secret Service, Deputy Mayor Pia, Fire Chief Donnelly, and Metro's General Manager Randy Clark. And we join with the FBI Director in ensuring that MPD investigates, the U.S. Attorney prosecutes this case to the fullest extent of the law. I've had the opportunity to brief U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who was speaking to the president when I called, as well as the United States Attorney Pirro, who assured me that this case will have her office's complete attention.
Mayor, was there any other suspect?
Chief.
Sure. So no, at this time, there's no indication that there was any other suspect. The one suspect that was involved in this incident, they were shot during the interaction, and they were transported to the hospital for treatment.
Mayor, does this validate the need for the National Guard here?
What we know, Andrea, is that this is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen, that individual has been taken into custody.
Mayor, can you tell us any more details on the condition of the two National Guardsmen and whether or not anyone else was injured? And a quick question follow-up for the FBI Director. You said that we'll make sure we find the perpetrators for this act. So just to clarify, the person believed to be responsible is in custody and there are no other suspects.
Sure. So I can start out again, Chief Carroll from MPD. So both the individuals, the guard members, they are in critical condition in a local hospital at this time being treated. At this point, we have no other suspects. We have reviewed video from the area. It appears, like I said, to be a lone gunman that raised a firearm and ambushed these members of the National Guard, and he was quickly taken into custody by other National Guard members and law enforcement members.
You got any sense of motive?
No, at this time, obviously, we're very in the preliminary stages of investigation. There's a lot of things, a lot of agents that are here from various federal agencies, law enforcement agencies. We have the full power of the FBI and our federal partners here in the task force. So we're looking at all those different aspects, but we don't have any motive. The National Guardsmen that were shot, I'm told they were armed.
Did they get off shots?
At this time, that's part of the preliminary investigation.
Can you explain how the suspect was apprehended?
Chief.
Sure. So how the suspect was apprehended, as I said, the individual, the suspect came around the corner. He immediately started firing a firearm at the two National Guard members. So at that time, there were other National Guard members that were in the area. They heard the gunfire. They actually were able to intervene and to kind of hold down the suspect after he had been shot on the ground until law enforcement got there within moments.
And he was shot by a National Guard.
At this point, we're still investigating exactly who shot the individual. It's not clear at this time.
Were there DC policemen in the area?
We don't know what kind of weapon. There was DC police. It happened right in front of the Metro, although there is no indication that the perpetrator was on the Metro. So there's Metro Transit Police in the area, and obviously being on 17th Street by the White House, Uniform Division of Secret Service were in the immediate area as well.
What kind of weapon the alleged perpetrator used?
We do not know at this time. It's still an investigation.
Thank you, Andrea. We're going to be able to take a couple more.
Have you been able to question the suspect, or is his condition so severe that you haven't been able to have a conversation?
Sure. And so, as I said, we're very preliminary in the investigation, so we're looking to all aspects of who the individual is, his connections. At this time, he's still in the hospital receiving treatment. And I would.
Okay, hold on, beloveds. Okay, so Cash Patel is saying that the reason the person's in custody is because of the National Guard's skill and training and expertise and all of that. So no thanks to you, Cash Patel. Is that what you're saying? Okay, got it. Okay, so with that all being said, prayers for the speedy recovery of the National Guardsmen who were in fact injured thanks to Trump and his idiocy. Okay, because that's what this is. And in a minute, he's going to declare martial law, like I've been telling y'all from day one, because that's what he wants to do anyway. Okay, then it's going to really get ugly. Okay, so now let's go to these Hong Kong fires that I didn't know anything about. I looked it up while you all were listening to that. So let's go to these brief reports that I snatched up off of TikTok. It looks like it's really serious. Okay, here we go. Like so, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Well, I just arrived at Typo Market Station, and the minute I exited the station, it's about a 15-minute walk away from the cluster of flats that's currently on fire, as you can see behind me. But immediately I could already hear the sirens, because there are fire engines right over here. They are stretched all the way from the station to the cluster of flats behind me. And there's also a very strong odor of smoke in the air the minute I exited. So right now I'm here. The roads are blocked, and people, residents, and curious onlookers are all gathered right here, just in front of the cluster. The authorities have currently blocked off the roads. They've sealed off the road, so people can't go home at the moment. What we do know is that this cluster of flats is home to about 4,600 people, about 1,900 households, and there have been emergency shelters open up, just recently, and even a primary school in the vicinity has stepped in to volunteer to take in, residents who have nowhere to go. What we do know that is that authorities are treating this with utmost importance. The chief executive has gathered his cabinet. They had an emergency meeting about 2 hours ago, and we understand that about 400 security personnel have been deployed to contain the situation. So this blaze, you can see it's been going on the entire afternoon all the way into this evening. There is still, firefighters trying to fight the flames. I'm seeing water jets go up into the top floors of the building, but it's still going strong. The fire is still blazing. There really is no way to tell when this will peter down.
Okay, let's go to this next report. Whew.
Taking a live look, it's a desperate race to find survivors from a massive fire that continues to burn through an apartment complex in Hong Kong. At least 36 people have died, including a firefighter. Nearly 280 people are still unaccounted for several hours after this fire started. There are about 2,000 apartments in that complex with about 4,800 people living there, many of them elderly. Now, it's not clear how the fire started, but firefighters say the flames spread quickly on bamboo scaffolding and construction netting that had been set up around the exterior of the complex. Bamboo scaffolding is very common in Hong Kong, but the government is in the process of phasing it out for public projects over safety concerns.
Okay, so like I said, prayers and condolences for anyone's lives that were lost, and prayers for speedy recovery for those who have been injured. Okay, so with that all being said, let's move right along. Let's move right along. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. So here they say, Trump was talking about, or they were saying that there were rumors that Kash Patel was going to be fired. Trump came right out and cleared that up. Trump couldn't take another L, okay? Because even if he was thinking about firing this man, you think it's going to do it now? Okay, so anywho, especially after the judge just went in on Halligan and Bondi, it's looking real bad. And the Epstein files and all this stuff that he's got going on. Okay, so President Donald Trump denied a recent report that he was looking to replace FBI Director Kash Patel as the nation's top federal investigator. And he's facing mounting criticism and much negative press coverage. And Trump says, no, he's doing a good job. That's what he said in response to a question from a reporter aboard Air Force One on Tuesday. He says, Kash Patel, no, he's doing a great job, I think. Yeah, please emphasize that that's what you think, Trump, because clearly no one else agrees. Now, at least no one with sense. So it follows White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt's denial of the report in a post on X earlier on Tuesday, saying this story is completely made up. Isn't that what she always says when we find out something nefarious, okay, about the administration? Didn't she always, in fact, say that it's made up, it's a witch hunt? She says the same thing exactly, most verbatim, that Trump says. So the story is completely made up. In fact, when this fake news published, I was in the Oval Office where President Trump was meeting with his law enforcement team, including FBI Director Kash Patel. So, though the White House has signaled that this is unlikely, if Patel was fired, it would raise questions about the Trump administration's political judgment and create an upheaval in the departments. So, MS Now first reported on rumors that Trump was considering firing Patel, citing 3 anonymous sources. Okay, I believe that they were clearly talking about it. Where are these 3 people coming from and why would they make it all up? Okay, the network reported that Patel might be replaced by senior FBI official Andrew Bailey. Okay, who was made co-deputy director of the bureau in September, joining Dan Bongino. MS Now said it stood by its reporting. So they're saying they're not going to walk it back. They're not going to say that they made a mistake or gave fake news. They're standing 10 toes down on what they reported. Okay. So with that all being said, it comes amid mounting criticism of Patel's leadership of the FBI. In September, the agency was criticized over the time it took to find a suspect following the assassination of 31-year-old right-wing activist Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. So Patel also took to social media to announce that a suspect was in custody hours after the shooting, and that wasn't even the case. The claim turned out to be completely false. Okay, that's what Carolyn Leavitt should have said was all made up. So local authorities clarified that individual had been questioned and then released. Now, also in September, 3 former FBI officials filed a federal lawsuit accusing Patel of orchestrating a purge of bureau leadership and overseeing a rampant politicization of the bureau. Now, let me tell you why Kash Patel would do that. Now, this is just my opinion. So, with that being said, Kash Patel is not qualified for this task that he's been given as the director of the FBI, and he knows it, and everyone else with sense knows it. So, therefore, what he doesn't want is senior officials who've already been there, know the ropes and everything, and how the place is run, the culture of it and everything. He doesn't want them looking over his shoulder, correcting him when he makes mistakes, just looking at him and knowing that he's lackluster and that he's not qualified. Yeah, he doesn't want that to be exposed. So that's likely why he got rid of some of these people. That's just my opinion. If he were smart, he should have kept them around so they could help him to do his job. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, Kash Patel. We all know you're whole idiots, but let me continue. And also, another thing is there were rumors saying that one of the reasons he was also looking to be fired was because he was taking that private jet and going to pick up his little girlfriend, the country singer and all that. Remember, I reported that weeks ago. But also, it has also come out, and someone has exposed the fact, and this is all alleged because I don't know this to be true, but someone came out days ago and said that he had security. Okay, like agents, I believe, being security or doing security for his little country bumpkin singing girlfriend. Okay, and he's not supposed to do that. Is that what taxpayers are paying our money for? Okay, they always have so much to say about taxpayer dollars, right? Didn't they complain about taxpayer dollars paying for food stamps for people and SNAP benefits and whatnot, and Medicaid and all of that? Isn't that what they love to say? Funny thing is, they don't talk about their misuse of taxpayer dollars, do they? Yeah, that's what they don't talk about. But let me continue. So anyway, goes on to say, the plaintiff's former FBI acting director Brian Driscoll, former assistant director Stephen Jensen, and former special agent Spencer Evans claimed they were fired because they had worked on past investigations involving Trump or resisted pressure to retaliate against former colleagues. Now, Patel has also attracted scrutiny for using a government aircraft and security details to protect his girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins. That's her name. The agency said Wilkins had faced hundreds of death threats. Would she be facing death threats? Do y'all believe it? That's just an excuse for her to get free security. Okay, well, it's not free. The taxpayers are paying for it. But the bottom line is, honey, why is she getting death threats? Hundreds? And if so, who's keeping count? Who's keeping count? That sounds like a gross over exaggeration and also a lot. Okay, I don't think anyone's offering death threats to this woman for what? She's just a country singer. And just because some country bumpkin who sings country music dates Cash Patel's dumb arse does not mean that she should be afforded security. Okay? I find it all interesting. I find it all interesting. Okay, does Kamala still have security? No, she doesn't. So why does his girlfriend need security? Okay, but let me continue. Talking about hundreds of death threats. Girl, where? Where's the proof? You see, the thing I don't like about this whole lying arse administration, these minions, okay, this mafia, these thugs that are in the White House running stuff amok, mind you, is that they never produce receipts or invoices. They just simply tell us things and we're supposed to just go along to get along. No, I have questions and I want answers and I want receipts. Okay? I want receipts. Don't y'all? So anyway, here's what people are saying. FBI Director Cash Patel, speaking to a reporter, Catherine Herridge, on Monday, said, "Look at the work of this FBI to date. In the 9 months that I've been in this job, we've arrested 30,000 people, 25,000 of which have been violent felons." Yeah, I don't believe that. Now, I do believe that they've likely arrested 30,000 people, but I don't believe that 25,000 of them were any violent felons. Miss me with it, because we all know who we've seen them arresting out there on the streets. They've been arresting people at traffic stops and whatnot. And is that what they told us they were there for? I thought they said they were supposed to be stomping out violent crime. Okay, looks like everyday ordinary citizens who are hardworking people are the ones being harassed and arrested. Now, they even arrested that man with a Subway sandwich that he threw it at the officer, remember? A sub sandwich. They tried to give him a whole felony. Case got tossed, just as it should have. Okay, stop being ridiculous. Okay, now that is a double increase from year to date from the same period last year. We have taken on our priorities and counter espionage work to an increase of 35% more arrests year to date alone. Cash Patel, please sit down. I don't believe your statistics. He's trying to act like they're out here working so hard, getting it out the mud. Honey, sit down somewhere. And then talking about counter espionage, like he's really putting in work. I am not falling for it. Now, on the rug with a D, on the rug front, we've seized 1,900 kilograms of fentanyl. That is a 35% increase from year to date of last year's date. Hold up, wait a minute. Didn't he just say, see, now here's where you catch him in the lies. Okay, because 35 must be his favorite number, because he just said that there was an increase of 35% more arrests year to date. And now he's saying that is a 35% increase from year to date as far as the fentanyl is concerned. So everything's 35% increases, Cash Patel. Do y'all hear this? Is that just a coincidence or is he lying? I'm going to go with the latter. Let's continue. So anyway, goes on to say, that's just the work of this FBI. We found 5,400 and identified 5,400 children, missing children. That is a 17% increase from this same time period last year. These are just a few examples of how committed we are to working the criminal cases for the American people so everyone gets treated the same. Cash Patel, how are y'all doing all of this and getting out the mud and working so hard? Okay, at the end of the day, stomping out crime wherever you go. Seeing you all out there picking up trash. Y'all are deployed out here to cities that don't even need you, picking up trash, harassing decent folk, walking up to people sitting on their porches, listening to music and asking them thousands of questions. So I now have questions to ask. Could you please explain to us all, because we the people would like to know, sir, how's the FBI putting in all this work? How are they doing all this crime stoppage, but at the same time roaming the streets picking up garbage? Sorry, I meant to say garbage. Okay, isn't that what ICE calls it when they're looking for the Hispanics and the Mexicans? Okay, I cannot. X Frank Nitty said, XX Frank Nitty said this sounds like an action movie. Okay, one that we all don't want to watch because we are afraid of how it's going to end. Okay, this seems like it does seem like one of those movies, but I wouldn't necessarily say just an action movie. It's more like a horror movie for me. You know, the kind where you put your hands over your eyes and peek through your fingers because you don't know what's coming next and you're scared to figure it all out. Yeah, that's it. Nene's laughing because I said crime stoppage. Well, that's what they promised. Okay, well, let me continue. I just think they're all just telling a bunch of lies and being nonsensical and think that we're all dumb and just going to go for whatever they say, even though they have never produced one receipt. Okay? So anyway, they go on to say these are just a few examples of how committed we are to working the criminal cases for the American people so everyone gets treated the same. Huh? Are y'all treating the immigrants the same? Please sit down. Are y'all treating the black people the same? No, you're not. That black man said he was snatched up on his way to the store the other day, and they asked him 1,000 questions. ICE detained him and was even talking about shipping him up out of here. Okay, please. Now, speaking to Newsweek, Scott Lucas, who teaches international politics at University College Dublin, said Patel would only be fired if he loses the support of Trump and key players in Trump's inner circle. That's right. And that's not going to happen anytime soon because I've already told you all how Kash Patel is kissing Trump's butt. And I'm talking about his literal crack. Okay. Yeah, that's what he's doing. However, he added that he's made some enemies because of his loyalty to Trump and his use of government resources. If Patel were to leave the director's role, either Bongino or Bailey could step up as acting director until a new permanent nominee was confirmed by the Senate. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. They're going to stick to their lies. They all got to stay in this together, honey. They all have to be down for it. Okay, that's the only way it's going to work. That's the only way it's going to work. XX Frank Nitty said they're not stopping these white racist hate groups. Okay, the FBI is ignoring that. Honey, they're going to always ignore that because some of them are, in fact, members of it. Okay, please pay attention. That's one thing they're not going to do. The Klan is still allowed to thrive in this country. Neo-Nazis, okay, all of these wanted supremacist hate groups. But yet, the Black Panther Party, okay, for self-defense, who started the WIC program and breakfast program for children, okay, who were helping the community and just trying to protect their own people, their community against police violence. Well, they were dismantled, arrested on trumped up charges, killed, you name it. But the Klan, they're registered as a Christian group, honey. They get to thrive. Please pay attention. And y'all want to act like, some people like Tim Scott, okay, Uncle Tim and Kamala want to act like there's no racism in this country. So with that all been said, now let's talk about it. Okay, let's talk about Leavitt's nephew's mom being detained by ICE. Child, do y'all know this lady is about to get deported? Now I was like, are y'all? But yes, they said she's about to get deported, honey. Let me go to the footage. It's all nefarious. Wonder what news, Leavitt, is this all completely made up? It's amazing to me how these people sit there and they'll just die on the hill to which they stand for Trump. This is a sword they want to fall on for Trump and his lies and his political, gymnastics, okay, and him trying to get vendettas against people and revenge and all of this. Meanwhile, their own families, in some cases, are bearing the brunt of his own actions. Isn't that something? If they like it, I love it. Here we go.
Those immigration raids, not even the family of the White House press secretary. A woman with a family connection to Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt is now being held by ICE. Her attorney confirms she is a native of Brazil. She is the mother of Leavitt's nephew. Scripps News investigative correspondent Patrick Terpstra is live in our DC newsroom. And Patrick, does she face deportation?
She absolutely does, Del. She is locked up right now in Louisiana awaiting deportation hearings. Her name is Bruna Caroline Ferreira, and she is the mother of an 11-year-old boy who is also the nephew of White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. She shares custody of that 11-year-old with Leavitt's brother, Michael. The two of them are still in close contact but do not live together. All of this began with that traffic stop earlier this month in November in the suburbs of Boston, where she was ultimately detained by ICE and sent down to Louisiana. According to the White House and the Department of Homeland Security, she is a, quote, criminal illegal alien, something that the attorney disputes. The attorney representing Ferreira saying that she came to the United States as a child in the mid-90s and overstayed a 1999 visa at the time. Again, she was a child, just about 5 years old when this happened in 1999. And according to Homeland Security, there is a charge she faced at some point for battery, but that is something that the attorney tells us simply is not true. The attorney saying that she does not have any criminal record. So she continues to fight this, all the while the attorney saying they do not believe that there is any sort of connection here with Caroline Leavitt. They do not believe that Ferreira was targeted. Take a listen.
Our concern right now is getting a single mother out of an ICE hellhole in Louisiana. We have no idea why she was detained. She wasn't given any explanation at all. And, you know, her relationship with the press secretary for the White House appears to be happenstance.
And that attorney saying that she was arrested on her way to actually go to school to pick up her son, that 11-year-old boy who, again, is the nephew of Caroline Leavitt.
Let me stop right there and say this. This is some real BS because here's the thing. They stopped this lady as she was on her way to pick up her son from school. See, here's what they're doing apparently, because this is not the first time we've heard this. Okay, so that black man was on his way to the store when he got snatched up by ICE. There was a 15 or 16-year-old boy who I posted on my X account. I don't think I told you all about it, but I posted on my X account where the teacher was saying that the young man was absent, not because he didn't want to come to school. He was looking forward to coming. He'd done his homework and was ready to take his test. And he was snatched up, unfortunately, by ICE on his way to school. This is crazy to me. They should not be allowed to put their damn hands on someone's child. I don't care if they are a teenager. If they're a minor, how are you abducting them? Because that's what this is. Okay, one box said the lady was changing her battery. And so why would they stop her? Because she looks Hispanic or Mexican. That's why. They're racially profiling these people. It's all just a darn shame. At the end of the day, is Caroline Leavitt going to help this poor woman? No. Is she going to help her? Because she's been down there for a minute now. Is she going to do anything? It's really amazing to me that some of these people have immigrants in their own families. But yet they're trying to get rid of all these immigrants. I find it interesting. Trump's own wife and her parents are immigrants. Okay, but anyway, honey, it is what it is. It's not my problem.
We reached out to the White House in hopes of getting comment from Leavitt. We got a statement back from someone who asked to be referred to as a source close to the situation, who said that Leavitt and Ferreira, the detained woman, have not spoken in years. Del.
Scripps News investigative correspondent Patrick Terpstra live for us in our D.C. newsroom. Patrick, as always.
Leavitt and the woman haven't spoken in years. You'll find that all interesting. So basically, Caroline Leavitt's not going to help the lady because she doesn't want to piss off Trump. She's not going to even ask Trump to do a favor for her own brother's wife or girlfriend, whoever, mother of the child. Okay? But like I said, it isn't my problem, but it is effed up that they're doing people like that, just snatching you up on your way to pick up your kids. Okay, what happened to the little boy? She was on her way to pick him up, got arrested, snatched up by ICE. Who picked up the little boy? Where is he at? This is all crazy, honey. But, you know, this is what devils do, and we're watching it in real time. Okay, that's what we're doing. So anyway, let's continue. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, let's talk about Trump's dirty self, because let me tell y'all this. Let me tell y'all this, honey. Trump, with his ridiculous self, first off, he's still out here attacking these reporters. Okay, he called this poor woman ugly. Trump is no good. Okay, he called this woman ugly and just doing the most. Hold on. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Before we get to that, let's talk about this. I almost forgot to tell y'all about this. Trump's stupid self sitting here talking about the Declaration of Independence, right? Let's get into it because this man's dragging him. Okay, Trump is so ridiculous. I don't understand how he could be this stupid and actually get by in life. Seriously. We put an overlay on this.
A lot of wars there was no reason for. You know? You look right up there, I don't know, see the Declaration of Independence, and I say, I wonder if the Civil War, it always seemed to me maybe that could have been solved without losing 600,000 plus people. So a lot of, it's very sad to see. It's very sad to see what's happening.
10 years. 10 years I've gone on social media showing how much of an imbecile he is. I've shown that he's too stupid to be president. He's unqualified to be president. He's too dangerous to be president. I've shown this for years. And trying to do this, I've sacrificed a lot. Gigs, opportunities, money, friends, family, and mental health, trying to do the right thing, trying to open people's eyes. I've dealt with backlash. I've had hate mail. I've had threats. I've been doxxed. I even had a drone sent to my house. All for trying to do the right thing because I give a shit about people and I give a shit about this country. So this dumbass thinks the Declaration of Independence has to do with the Civil War. Tell me that's fucking normal. Tell me that's normal. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me it's normal to have a fucking illiterate president who doesn't know what the Declaration of Independence is. Tell me that's normal. And also tell me Kamala Harris wasn't qualified. I mean, it was only like a month ago, a reporter asked him about the Declaration of Independence.
It's a declaration of unity and love and respect, and it means a lot, and it's something very special to our country.
And someone still didn't give him a heads up about it? He's not interested in learning or knowing anything. This is fucking wild. How do you see this as stability? How do you see this as strength? I mean, he already faked his way through president for 4 years, and he still didn't learn the Declaration of Independence? He didn't know what NATO was either. Shouldn't the leader of any country know these most basic things? I mean, how pathetic are you to think this is acceptable? How low is your bar? He was already ranked the worst president of all time by historians and scholars, and he's already doing a worse job the second time around. You still can't see he's a dumbass, huh? What does that say about you? Think of how pathetic of a parent you must be if we go to war and you lose a child because of that dumbass that you voted for. I mean, you really can't see he's a grifter. He's shown you over the years with his phones and with his shoes and all the new shit, the NFTs and all the bullshit. You still can't see it. And the wild thing is, anytime I ask you guys, name one Trump policy that helped anyone, you can't fucking do it. Yet you voted for him 3 times. Tell me I'm not making a fucking point. Your blind loyalty and intellectual laziness is going to cost us a lot of lives, if not our whole country. He hasn't fulfilled any promises, just like the first time he was in office. And everything in this country is worse than before he took office. 250 years of progress in this country, all to give it away to an illiterate criminal.
Okay, no lies detected, honey. Okay, that man told a gospel truth about Trump. Y'all pay attention. Woo, honey, we got 3 more years to go, beloveds. Isn't it awful? Isn't it awful? But hold on, because let's talk about him calling this poor reporter ugly. Now, last time he called a reporter piggy. This time he just went all out and called her ugly, honey. That's what he said. First piggy, now ugly. Trump continues to attack female reporters. What a bully he is. I wish Trump would call me ugly. Baby, when I got done with him, I promise you, he would be crying, okay? He would be crying. I would embarrass the hell out of Trump. Do you hear me? The nerve of him. The nerve of him, okay? Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Gosh, dog it. Hold on, you all. Okay, they want me to get a subscription. I've used up all my articles. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Lights up, beloveds. So it seems that the target of his disdain, the reporter that he was talking trash about, was a woman by the name of Katie Rogers, a reporter for the New York Times. Okay, her article discussed his schedule and signs of fatigue in office. So let's talk about it. Trump called a reporter ugly, both inside and out. He was talking about himself. And he did this less than 2 weeks after the Piggy remark on Air Force One. So Donald Trump has called a female reporter ugly both inside and out less than weeks after his Piggy comments. Trump made the comment on his Truth social media platform on Wednesday, okay, while slamming the New York Times and its White House correspondent, Katie Rogers. Now, in his post, Trump appeared to reference a story that Rogers contributed to, which implied that he was facing the realities of aging in office by undertaking less domestic travel than during his first term. So the story also referenced a viral moment when Trump appeared to doze off during an official event, which he has since denied. Trump, we all saw your behind sitting up there asleep. Didn't I show y'all that? Literally, Trump, if I didn't show it to you, honey, you can look it up. Trump was sitting up there in that meeting, sleep, leaning to the left. Okay? He was leaning to the side, honey. He was clearly knocked out. But he talked about Sleepy Joe Biden, didn't he? That's what he used to call him, Sleepy Joe. And then he fell asleep in office, okay? Make it all make sense. Trump attacked the New York Times for publishing the story in a lengthy outburst, writing that the creeps at the failing New York Times are at it again. He specifically targeted Rogers, who wrote the story alongside fellow New York Times reporter Dylan Friedman, saying that the writer of the story, Katie Rogers, who is assigned to write only bad things about me, is a third-rate reporter who is ugly both inside and out. Now, in his post, Trump insisted he pulled off a landslide victory in 2024 in the presidential election, writing that he'd won all 7 swing states, the popular vote, and the Electoral College by a lot. Now, offering his perspective on his second term so far, he claimed, I settled 8 wars, have 48 new stock market highs. Our economy is great and our country is respected again all over the world, respected like never before. This man is clearly delusional. He is really delusional. He really thinks that they're showing respect to the United States while he's in charge. No, 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 no. Okay, we are being blatantly disrespected. There's countries that don't even want to share intelligence with us anymore because of his nefarious actions with the whole Venezuela airstrikes and all of that with his stupid self. What is he talking about? What is he doing? Anyway, goes on to say the last administration had the highest inflation in history. I have already brought that down to normal, and prices, including groceries, are coming down. Trump, you sound ridiculous. To do this requires a lot of work and energy, and I have never worked so hard in my life. Oh, okay. So is he trying to tell us that's why he dozed off? Because he was working so hard and it took a lot of energy? Trump, sit your lazy self down. The only thing you spend energy on is McDonald's and golf. I promise you. Trump went on to call the New York Times story a hit piece and call the outlet an enemy of the people, seemingly reversing course after recently acknowledging that his approval rating had sunk to the lowest yet during his second term. Trump incorrectly claimed that he currently had the highest poll numbers ever. I told you all this on yesterday. He's still telling that same lie. I guess he thinks if he says it enough, we'll all start to foolishly believe it. Perhaps he implied that it would continue to only go up thanks to his work. Honey, have you ever heard anyone big up themselves so much? And you know what's so funny about all of this? Yes, he is ridiculously odd. But you know what's so funny about all of this? These people want to sit up here and hate on Shedeur Sanders, okay, and say that he is arrogant. But these are the same people who voted for the arrogant, narcissistic, pathological liar named Donald J. Trump. Somebody make it all make sense. Let me continue. This is all so nefarious, okay? It's absolutely crazy. Selective outrage. He goes on to say, there will be a day when I run low on energy. It happens to everyone. But with a perfect physical exam and a comprehensive cognitive test that was aced, mind you, just recently taken, it certainly is not now. That's how he concluded the post. Now, mind you, a spokesperson for the New York Times responded to the president's remarks in a statement shared with People. Okay, they say the Times reporting is accurate and built on firsthand reporting of the facts. Name calling and personal insults don't change that. Nor will our journalists hesitate to cover this administration in the face of intimidation tactics like this. Expert and thorough reporters like Katie Rogers exemplify how an independent and free press helps the American people better understand their government and its leaders. President Trump has never been politically correct, never holds back, and in large part, the American people re-elected him for his transparency. This has nothing to do with gender. It has everything to do with the fact that the president's and the public's trust in the media is at all-time lows. This is what White House spokesperson Abigail Jackson said in a statement shared with People. Not all-time lows. Trump's attack on Rogers comes less than 2 weeks after he had a tense exchange with Bloomberg's White House press correspondent, Catherine Lucy, while aboard Air Force One on November the 14th. Now, when Lucy asked about Jeffrey Epstein and the release of the Epstein files, Trump cut off a follow-up question, snapping, "Quiet, quiet, piggy." The White House has defended the remark, telling People in a statement, this reporter behaved in an inappropriate and unprofessional way towards her colleagues on the plane. So I want you all to pay attention. How was she behaving in an inappropriate way when she simply asked the president of the United States a question? And that's what journalists are paid to do. That's their job. And he tells her, "Quiet, quiet, piggy." So they're condoning Trump in his BS. Okay, this is how stupid these people are. You're not going to make me go along to get along with stuff that I know is nefarious. Okay, now the White House has defended it, of course. Now, if you're going to give it, you have to be able to take it, they added. First of all, she didn't insult Trump. She just asked a question. She didn't call him a pig, which she likely could have, surely. Okay, doesn't he look like one? My opinion. Okay, look, the president's very frank and honest with everyone in this room. Okay, you've all seen it yourselves. You've all experienced it yourselves. And I think it's one of the many reasons the American people reelected this president, because of his frankness. Girl, sit down somewhere. That's Carolyn Leavitt. That's her talking. He calls out fake news when he sees it. He gets frustrated with reporters when you lie about him, when you spread fake news about him and his administration. And so I think the president's being frank and open and honest to your faces rather than hiding behind your backs that's frankly a lot more respectful than what you saw in the last administration. Well, we never heard Biden call anybody piggy, nor did we hear him call anybody ugly, both inside and out. So there's that. Anyway, let me continue. So she goes on to say, where you had a president who would lie to your face and then didn't speak to you for weeks. I think everyone in this room should appreciate his frankness and the openness that you get from President Trump on a near daily basis. Oh, okay, except for when it comes to those Epstein files, right? Yeah. Okay, so anyway, people reached out to the White House for comment on Trump's latest comments. Anyway, this is all exhausting listening to this BS. All right. All crazy. But now let's talk about Steve Bannon, honey, because they're going in on him. His fans are supposedly dragging him because they found out about his Epstein ties. Is that why he said everyone is going to jail if they don't win, including him? Steve Bannon's fans are furious over his Epstein connections. Jeffrey Epstein advised Bannon on Donald Trump's first term. So former Trump White House strategist turned podcaster Steve Bannon is facing fire and fury from his listeners after new details emerged about his cozy relationship with child trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Now, Bannon was a vocal proponent earlier this year for the release of the federal government's Epstein files before the extent of his relationship with Epstein became public knowledge. All of these people had ties to this man, okay? This is what it seems like. And it seems like a lot of them have something to gain by keeping this stuff under the rug, sweeping it under the rug. Okay, so anyway, goes on to say, Bannon assisted Epstein in navigating the political and legal quagmire that was the last year of his life. As part of that, Bannon conducted a series of interviews with Epstein between 2018 and early 2019, totaling about 15 hours of unreleased footage. Now, Now, Bannon was reportedly working on a pro-Epstein documentary up until the day of Epstein's arrest. And this is according to a trove of emails released by the White House by the House Oversight Committee about 2 weeks ago. But since then, Bannon has gone quiet on the issue, allowing the high drama of the Epstein files to fall into the background of his noisy War Room podcast. Of course he is. They want us all to forget about it. But the silent treatment has not played well with his audience, who claim they were betrayed by the far-right conspirators. Okay? By the far-right conspiracists. I find it all interesting. So Steve advising Epstein how to sugarcoat his depravities. This is what one person posted. I've been watching Steve for 6 hours per day since 2020. I'm so done with a MAGA whisperer. Hypocrisy is not only Democrats' disease. Okay, that's what somebody wrote on X. Another X user commented saying, Bannon as a fat, they called him a fat PDF file lover. Okay. Critics on Bannon's Rumble page mocked him as Epstein's PR guy and implored the far-right personality to explain his relationship with Epstein. Please release the other 15 hours of Epstein interview. You have it all. It'll show who you really are, which is why you haven't released it. That's what somebody said to him on Rumble. Now, Epstein, a New York socialite who orchestrated an international child trafficking ring to service the sick desires of the ultra wealthy, is believed to have abused hundreds of young girls. His network included an array of high-profile, powerful individuals, including former Treasury Secretary and ex-Harvard University president Larry Summers, Victoria's Secret's chief executive Les Wexner, okay, Wall Street titan Leon Black, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew. Oh, because they snatched his title. Y'all, this is what they call Prince Andrew now. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He can't even call himself a prince, honey. It's the shame of it all. And President Donald Trump. Okay, so after months of dragging their feet, Republicans in both chambers of Congress passed a bill to release the investigation files related to Epstein and his potential associates. Trump signed the bill on November the 19th, starting a 30-day timer on the document's release. Okay. Well, we'll see how this all turns out. I can't wait until the documents are all out there so we can see what they give us, which is probably going to be a whole lot of nothing. Okay, I'm pretty sure. A whole lot of nothing. 555 says, Steve, you have some explaining to do. Okay. He sure does. But I'm sure we won't hear anything else. Now let's talk about Lindsay Halligan, because they call this the situation. You get to play Lindsay Halligan's hand. All right. Well, this should be fun. Let's talk about it. Here's what they say. Now, this sounds like a game of Clue when I started reading it. It says, you are Lindsay Halligan. You have a tough hand to play. Your case against James Comey has just been tossed out. You have been informed that you do not even occupy your office legally. Do you fold, appeal, re-indict? Are you confused about what move comes next for you? Don't worry, we're here to help. We made you a nifty flow chart of your options in the Comey case. It reflects all the many, many, many ways you can lose this case. How to dig yourself in deeper, throw good money after bad, and go all in on the weakest of weak cards. These people are crazy. Now, our suggestion is that you play this flowchart game a few dozen times before deciding your next move. Here's what you'll see if you go through this exercise. You lose. Do y'all hear this? It's typing this stuff up. And they say you lose. Okay? One way or another, embarrassingly or with a modicum of dignity. Okay? There is only one path to victory for you in this chart, and it involves the most inside of inside straights. In other words, your chances of success are slim. Okay, so anyway, they have like this flow chart, and they have these questions on here. Let me just read a couple of them just for kicks. It says, choose your own adventure by following the text here and clicking the relevant links or moving through the flow chart below. On November the 24th, U.S. District Judge Cameron McGowan Curry ruled that you were not lawfully appointed and threw your case out against former FBI Director James Comey. Threw it out of court. Do you appeal this decision? If yes, go to number 13. And if no, go to number 22. What in the world is this? They are just dragging this poor lady, honey. This is what she gets. I absolutely love it. Okay, so I'm gonna click on it says if you say yes, go to 13. If you say no, go to 22. Let me think. What would Lindsay do, you guys? What would Lindsay do? Should I pick 13 or 22? I'm gonna go with 13 and say yes. Okay. It says, do you prevail at either the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals or at the Supreme Court? If yes, go to 23. If not, go to 22. 22, I went to 22 because I don't think she will prevail. And it says, you lose. The court will appoint some other prosecutor to be interim U.S. attorney, and that person is most unlikely to try to re-indict James Comey, whose case might now be barred by the statute of limitations. In any event, you're out of the case. You lose. Okay, I'm done. I am done. She definitely is going to lose. She's going to lose that bar license, that license to practice law. That's what she's going to lose. Okay, please pay attention. We already know that's coming. But last but not least, let's talk about Trump and Alina Habba. Okay, because there's some controversy swirling around them, it seems. Appeals court upholds this $1 million penalty against Donald Trump over his frivolous Clinton. Alina Habba over Russian collusion case. So, a federal court ruled Wednesday that President Donald Trump and his former lawyer, Alina Habba, are still on the hook for $1 million penalty for filing a frivolous lawsuit against Hillary Clinton and former FBI Director James Comey, as well as others. Now, the ruling from the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals relates to a now dismissed lawsuit filed by Trump relating to Russian collusion claims. Trump was first ordered to pay the $1 million in the case in 2023, but he and Habba appealed the ruling. In addition to Clinton and Comey, their lawsuit also named Senator Adam Schiff, former FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, and many more. So Trump and Habba, who now serves as U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, will be forced to pay approximately $938,000 split between the dozens of individuals named in the lawsuits. Now, in the original lawsuit, Trump accused the high-profile figures of conspiring to tank his successful 2016 presidential campaign. Now, here we are confronted with a lawsuit that should never have ever been filed, which is completely frivolous, both factually and legally, and which was brought in bad faith for an improper purpose. This is what Judge Donald Middlebrooks, in his 2023 ruling, which was upheld on Wednesday, that's what he had to say. So they lost their appeal. Mr. Trump is a prolific and sophisticated litigant who is repeatedly using the courts to seek revenge on political adversaries. He is the mastermind of strategic abuse of the judicial process, and he cannot be seen as a litigant blindly following the advice of a lawyer. Okay, so they're saying Trump's not a victim. He knows exactly what the hell he's doing. He's very litigious, and he uses the courts for his own, as a weapon against his political rivals. That's what he's been doing. And the judges called him out on it and also calling out his nefarious attorney, as should be done. So anyway, he goes on to say that the two defendants in the case claimed that Trump's appeal itself was frivolous and sought additional sanctions for it, but the court disagreed. Okay, now they reached out to the White House for comment, and of course, no one immediately had anything to say. Okay, which is no shock as far as I'm concerned. Now, Wednesday's ruling comes just days after a separate federal court dismissed false statements and charges leveled against Comey. Judge Cameron Curry ruled that the charges were brought by an unqualified U.S. attorney. That U.S. attorney is Lindsay Halligan, who Trump appointed to the position just weeks prior. Wouldn't you feel like a real piece of BS? Like I know I would feel like a piece of trash if I had a law license and I was hired, and then they said, And they just basically said that I wasn't qualified, okay, for the position to which I had been given. Now, Curry, a Clinton appointee based in South Carolina, was brought in from out of state to preside over proceedings about the question of Halligan's authority because it presented a conflict from the Virginia judges, or for the Virginia judges. Comey's and James's challenges to Halligan's appointment were consolidated because of their similarity. Yeah, because they were both trumped up charges and just a whole bunch of BS and lies. Okay, all done at the behest of stupid Trump. Ooh, Trump, you need to sit yourself down somewhere. Isn't he still tired? Okay, didn't he say that he has low energy from working so darn hard? But in other news, here's something that Trump did that's positive. Trump did do one positive thing, okay, in the past few days. He shouted out Shedeur Sanders. He said Shedeur Sanders was great. Wins first game. Career start as a pro for Cleveland. Great genes. I told you so. Trump, sit yourself down, honey. We didn't need you to tell us that this man was great or that he had good genes. We already knew that. Sit down somewhere. Always trying to take credit, okay? Always trying to take credit for something that he had nothing to do with. Okay, but anyway, speaking of Shedeur, did y'all see this viral picture of him? Y'all see that? Y'all see that? They're holding Shedeur up like he is Simba from The Lion King. And that is very symbolic. And for those of you who don't know what that means, let's get into it and let me break it on down for you. Because if you saw Lion King, then you already know that Rafiki was a spiritual guide. Okay? And it was a royal ceremony where he raised Simba up into the air. All right, making him the new leader. He was being announced as the new king, the rightful heir to Mufasa, and the ruler of the Pride Land. So what are they saying? Well, it looks like they're saying that Shedeur is who they've been looking for. Just like he said he wanted to show them that he is who they've been looking for. He is him. Okay? Because at the end of the day, this was representative in the movie, and it was representative of the circle of life. Okay? It showed that Simba's life and future are part of a larger spiritual order. Y'all better pay attention. Okay? Now, and listen, I told you all this before. Let me tell y'all something. The Most High has his hand on this young man. You see, this is why no weapon formed against him shall ever prosper. This is why he is not going to lose, but he is going to grow and thrive and be successful, okay, at the end of the day. Because you see, think about the spirituality and the symbolisms of everything that's been going on. Shedeur Sanders was drafted 144th, okay? 144th in the 5th round. 144, okay, is in the Bible. That is a very significant number in the Bible. We already know about numerology for those of you who follow the spiritual channel, because they speak of that number when they say that 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, okay, which is 144,000, shall reign as priests and kings in the heavens and all of that. Not to mention, his number is now the number 12. Okay, are y'all paying attention? When he was initially number 2. So I told you all this before, that this all has is involved in spirituality. Okay, if you're paying attention. Now, speaking of the circle of life, in the movie, that moment visually represented the new life, the continuity of leadership, renewal of hope. This is all going on with the Cleveland Browns right now. They've been given a new life in Shedeur, okay? Continuity of leadership, because he is a very good leader, okay? He was born to do this, and it brings a renewal of hope, okay? Because he's already broken records in his first game. I want y'all to pay attention at the end of the day. Now, I know some of y'all probably getting tired of me going in, bragging about my nephew, but hey, y'all should be bragging about him too. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so with that all being said, let's continue, because I'm going to go to this video that I forgot to show you all earlier. This is Andrew Berry, okay, the general manager after Shedeur's win, or after the Browns win, and Shedeur's performance. And do you all know that some of the people on the Raiders team, some of the Raiders fans, were even cheering for Shedeur? One man literally got kicked out. He was like, they're kicking me out. They're kicking me out. I don't think they were really going to kick him out, but they told him they were, because he was over there cheering for Shedeur so hard.
Yeah.
Okay, Reggie says he is the definition of born to do it. You got that right. Okay, absolutely. Now let's take it back to the very beginning when Shedeur first was announced in the draft. That's when all the haters came out.
With the 144th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, Colorado.
Thank everybody for being here. We all didn't expect this, of course, but I feel like with God, anything possible, everything possible.
For Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders, I like to say is, I think it's disgusting. I don't understand what the heck's going on with this. Fifth player on my board. It's never happened before in 47 years where a player that high has dropped this far into the fourth round at quarterback. It's sitting there in round 4 with other quarterbacks being taken who aren't as good as Shedeur, aren't even close, in my opinion, in terms of accuracy, toughness. Arm strength is certainly more than good enough.
Told me bust out my AP, perfect timing. I got them against up on my neck, stay shining. It's never out around my jewelry, chasing climbing. I went and got that new Mac deck, I stay grinding. They told me bust out my AP, perfect timing. I got them against up on my neck, stay shining. It's never out around my jewelry, chasing climbing. I went and got that new Mac deck, I stay grinding.
Right, I know I'm going to pay for that because the song was playing, but I really don't care. Okay, I really don't. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Around my jewelry, chasing climbing. I went and got that new Mac deck, I stay grinding.
Okay, that's why I went back to it because I realized I cut it off too soon. Okay, so let's keep going. I have a few more videos for you all to see. By the way, let me ask you all this. Put a 1 in the chat or a 2. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Did I show you all the video earlier today or yesterday? Did I show you all the story about the Black woman who was jumped? And I'm not talking about the lady who was walking home with her kids. The young lady, this is an older Black lady. Did I show you all that video? Because another parent got jumped. This is real crazy. These kids are getting bad as hell. Who's raising them is what I want to know. Okay, so you all are saying no. Okay, so remind me to show you all that if I forget, because y'all know I will in a heartbeat. Okay, so let's move on to the next video.
I know Coach Stefanski mad as fuck. 12 shining on his ass on my mama. And 12 said it's just a week of practice. Like, imagine if I was QB1 since the start. Come on, you gotta respect that shit. I know Stefanski went home. Fuck, nigga. Went crazy. He couldn't believe it. Y'all probably would have been undefeated right now if you would have just put 12 in the game. If I'm glazing, at least y'all would have lost maybe 2 to 3 games at the most. At the most. Cause 12, oh my God. I don't know if that 12 like Brady or what. 12 a bad man though, my mama. I fuck with Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett really be room for my boy. And that says a lot from defense one. This DF1 nigga is saloon shot like on wit shot like shot gonna be something like, you feel me?
It sounds like he's from Atlanta. That's how they talk down here in Atlanta. Okay, that sounds like an Atlanta accent if I ever heard one. Please pay attention.
Here's what he said right before his first start. He's a 5th-round draft pick. I don't know if this is happening anywhere else.
But this is going to be your first NFL start. What does that opportunity feel like in this moment?
Feels good, but we cool, calm, collective, like this ain't nothing to us.
And what do you hope to show against this Raiders defense, your teammates, yourself, and these Browns fans with their play today?
I'm who they've been looking for.
Walk off.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Goodbye. Yeah. What a hilarious line. Like, even in that moment, all that shit is not Cleveland Browns like.
Thank God.
The interest of, if you're a Shedeur Sanders fan, it's like, thank God he's nothing like what
If you're
the
a
Browns
fan of football, you don't want anything to be what Cleveland Browns has been.
Amen. Myles Garrett is 18 sacks right now. But a lot of Cleveland Brown football is shite football. So Shedeur bringing any energy, I think, is a positive.
Absolutely is. Absolutely is. Okay.
Diehard Raider fan here. I'm just sending the message out to Shedeur. I hope you destroy us today. Let's go, 12. 185 yards, 3 touchdowns. Destroy us. Our season's already over. Our season's already over.
I'm thankful for just being allowed to sit up in a box with the opposing, the owner of the opposing team allow the dad of the quarterback on the opposing team to sit in his box. Like, how many times did that happen? Like, that is unbelievable, man. So I'm so thankful and appreciative for that opportunity in that moment. That's the first time I've ever watched him play without me on the sideline. I've never seen him play without me coaching him. So that was strange, but it was good and it was healthy because I was just in straight dad mode. I wasn't in coach mode, and I loved that I was able to see him gain the first victory.
Were you a nervous wreck at all?
No.
You couldn't do anything about it?
No. Thank you, Lord.
Okay, so imagine that. Deion sitting in the opponent's box. Okay, he was sitting in the opponent's box to watch the game, in the Raiders' box, because you already know they wasn't going to let him sit up there with Cleveland. They can't stand Deion. Okay? They wasn't going to let him sit up there with Cleveland, honey. They don't like Mr. Sanders, or at least it seems. Now, this is a fan said, right, Joy said, congratulations, proud dad. Absolutely, okay? This is one of the Raiders fans getting kicked out, or he's telling Shedeur, he's like, perfect timing, they're kicking me out. Because he's sitting up in there with Shedeur's jersey on the Raiders side.
Amen. Yeah. Talk your shit. They kicking you out. They kicking me out.
Y'all see that? Do y'all see the Raiders fans cheering for Shedeur?
Take it off!
Reggie said they can kick him out too, okay? Let me tell y'all something. Something similar happened to me. I went to the Atlanta Falcons was playing New Orleans, right? That's like one of their biggest rivals. And I had the nerve. I wasn't thinking, but I wore black and gold. Okay, I had on black and gold. This was like a couple of decades ago, but I had on black and gold sitting over there. Okay, among all of those Saints fans cheering for the Falcons. And they were like, hold on, I'm sorry, why are you over here? Okay, why are you here again, ma'am? Now, mind you, I didn't do that on purpose. I just wasn't thinking about it. My outfit was cute. Y'all know Mecca. Y'all remember Mecca, Mecca? That was popular back then. I had on this Mecca outfit that was black and gold, honey. I thought I was doing it, honey. Only to get told off, okay? Over there shouting for the Falcons. It was all nefarious.
You take me to a new dimension.
And so now let's talk about this mom that got jumped. Because this is real crazy. Thank you, Reggie, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay, peace, love, and blessings. Let's talk about it because this is a darn shame. Let me pull this up. Yeah, I meant to show you all this story 2 days ago. I don't know how I kept forgetting. I just have too many stories to talk about sometimes. I need to cut it out and just stick to maybe one or two.
Weeks have been difficult for Lakeisha Graves and her daughters, who say they were attacked by a group of students who had boarded a school bus that wasn't their own and attacked them.
You might as well go ahead and go home. Oh my! So go ahead and go home. No. My fat dress. Might as well go ahead and go home. Get in the car.
No.
Go ahead and go home.
And then a 12-year-old rushes me, and then her friends follow up. And the boy punches my daughter in her face twice. And, from there, you see them dragging me across the field by my hair.
According to Cambridge Police Chief Justin Todd, 4 of the subjects were referred to juvenile services.
Eat her up! Eat the mama! Eat her the mama! Eat the mama!
We've seen juveniles escalate from assaults to vehicle thefts to robberies and homicides. We've seen it right here in our local community, and I think we're going to continue to see it until we see a difference and a change.
Graves says she met with Chief Todd and Dorchester County's Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jameel Thompson, and is working to address the violence with city leaders. But it still escapes her as to how this even happened in the first place.
I was flabbergasted that children would even approach an adult, let alone assault them. I was not expecting that in any way, shape, or form.
Lakeisha says she hopes action is taken, whether it's with the city of Cambridge, Dorchester County, or the school system, to prevent what happened to her and her daughter. And she's hoping action is taken soon before it ultimately costs someone their life. In Cambridge, Brian Roche, WMDT.
Hey, that is absolutely a darn shame. This is real crazy. Now, can you imagine being a kid and putting your hands on an adult? These kids today are different. These kids are different. They have no respect for their elders. They are not trying to talk about yes, ma'am, no, sir. They have no respect. They will not only talk crazy to you and curse you out, they will put hands on you. Now I'm starting to wonder, do you all remember that story I covered about a year, maybe 2 ago, with a 13-year-old black girl was in the McDonald's restaurant with all of her little friends from school, and the lady got into a fight with her? Do you all remember that? Do you all remember that? The I believe it was a Hispanic lady, or no, the lady was black, but maybe light-skinned or biracial. I don't remember. But nonetheless, this lady came in there, if you remember, and she got into a fight with that girl. And the lady said that the girl was all up in her face or whatever, pushed her or something. And then the girl and her mother were saying the lady escalated the whole thing. Now I'm wondering, did that little girl start that fight? Was she trying to show off because her friends were all around? Because these kids are something else. They have no respect whatsoever. But you know what? They're going to run up on the wrong one. That's what they're going to do. Because all of these kids jumping somebody's not going to give a darn that you're kids. Okay? Somebody is not going to care that they're kids. Because a whole bunch of kids jumping you could be, just as bad as adults jumping you. Okay? Please pay attention. These kids are going to end up getting hurt. The lovely T said, I remember you doing that story, Queen. Okay. Carter said, I remember it. Okay. This is all crazy. Ooh, honey, I cannot with these kids, but hold on. So this is what they say from the neighborhood watch or the neighborhood talk. They say, neighbors, these kids must be stopped. Just days after we reported on a pregnant mother and her children getting jumped by a group of students, a Maryland family has come forward to share that they have experienced the same treatment by a different group of kids. Lakeisha Graves and her daughter was recently attacked by a group of students that boarded a school bus that wasn't even theirs. Lakeisha recalls the moment everything spiraled. Then a 12-year-old rushes me and her friends follow right behind her. The boy punches my daughter in the face twice, and from there you see them dragging me across the field by my hair. Can you imagine? Honey, when I tell you, these kids are they crazy? Are they insane? What is going on here? Looking out here acting like whole thugs. Now, in the aftermath, Graves met with Chief Todd and Dorchester County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jamil Thompson. She says she's trying to work with city and school officials to figure out how this level of violence was even possible and how to stop it from happening again. Okay, this is all so darn crazy. At the end of the day, I don't know what is going on, honey. Could be my kids. Could not be my kids, because I promise you, if one of my kids had ever even tried it, okay? This goes back to the parents, because I'm going to tell you like this. People can say whatever they want. Some people love to say, these people that have badass kids, specifically thugs and all that, these parents, some of them love to say, well, I can't, watch my kids 24/7. I can't see what my kids are doing 24/7. And you can't. As a parent myself, we honestly can't. Kids do things behind our backs that we don't know what they're doing, and they tell lies and things like that. But here is the thing. If you have instilled values and morals in your children and talk to them about the consequences of their actions, and even gone as far as to give them consequences for their actions yourself, you've chastised them, you've held them accountable, you've punished them. And I don't mean physical violence. I mean, such as you could have done that. I don't know. Some parents do. I always chose to take away items from mine. Okay, you're not playing Xbox, you're not getting on the PlayStation, you're not going outside. Don't even think about talking on your phone. Go to your room. I even took my oldest son, D'Angelo, when he was being unruly, I even took his door off the hinges and put it in the laundry room. I said, no, I told you there's no locked doors in my house. You don't pay the mortgage. You don't pay any bills. I pay them. So with that all being said, you're not going to sit up in here and lock doors. And I don't know what you're in there doing, okay? Because we're not going to be like Columbine. Of course, I know he's not a school shooter. But what I'm saying is, think about how the Columbine shooting, they were in there building bombs and had all these guns and ammo and everything out in the garage, in their rooms. And the parents never even bothered to look, never even entered their rooms. No, we don't have locked doors in my house, okay? When I'm paying, that's what you're not going to do. Okay. And I don't think that any parent should just let their kids just have all this privacy, because they're not paying bills. They're not adults. Okay. They don't get the same treatment as us. That's all I'm saying. But some of y'all want to treat kids like they're grown. Some of y'all want to act like you're their friends and not their parents. But that's going to backfire for you, because spare the rod, spoil the child is what it says in the Bible. And you don't have to physically punish them, but you can absolutely hold them accountable and put them on punishments and give them things that will make them think twice before they get into more trouble. If you do not do these things, your children may be one of those out there being disrespectful to adults and out there getting arrested by by the police because they're hanging out with the wrong crowd or they're leading a crowd. Who knows? At the end of the day, these parents need to tighten up. But you see, we have a lot of younger parents. We have 33-year-old grandmothers these days. You know, kids out here getting pregnant at the age of 16, and then the grandmothers, the mother has the child when they're 16, then that child has a child. Now you got a 32-year-old grandmother. It's all true. It's all true. Okay? These kids are a whole hot mess. Okay? They are a whole hot mess. Prayers for that lady and her children. I hope that they, you know, get over this and are not traumatized, because this can be very traumatizing, even for an adult. Imagine this, and how embarrassing and humiliating is it for you to be with your kids and you feel that you can't even protect yourself, let alone them, and then for y'all all to be jumped and somebody dragging you by your hair across a street or a field? Ooh, honey. With that all being said, Joy said her mom believed in switches. Mine did too, honey. I never used them on my kids, but my mom used them on me. Okay, she used them on us. Yep. And then was diabolical enough to make us go outside and pick our own. Okay, you better not come back with a little brittle one that's going to break as soon as she hits you, because then she's going to go out there and get one that's going to be worse. Okay, anywho, I remember one time I got in trouble at school and my mother went out there and got 2 switches and wrapped them together and went in on the queen, honey. Okay, my mother was strict. She didn't play the radio. Okay, she didn't play the radio. And I didn't appreciate it so much at the time, but now I can because of the person that I have turned out to be. I also can thank my mother for not allowing me at the age of 15 to get a gold tooth. Okay, because I sure was asking her for a gold tooth, honey. I thought that was it. Okay, my mother was like, girl, if you don't get out of my face, talk about a gold tooth. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, Joy said exactly, Queen, we had to get a good switch. Yes, okay? Oh, that just made it hurt so much worse, didn't it? Okay, so listen, beloveds, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this night, and I will pop on here tomorrow. I said early, but now I'm gonna have to change it. Okay, I'll probably be on here about 12 o'clock and just drop y'all a little something or whatever. And with that all being said, I may even give away something. Okay, so with that all being said, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this night. Until next time, beloveds, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hit him with that flavor. All in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got